Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. It's been about 2 full days since the latest patch on FC26, and I think most people would agree in saying that there is a problem with the most popular way to score goals on this game. And now EA have confirmed it themselves, saying finesse shots are unexpectedly slow. So we finally have that confirmation, kind of making us feel validated that we're not crazy after feeling those weird differences and inconsistencies with finesse shots. Now, we're going to talk about that as the biggest story today, but we also have some big news about upcoming player SBCs, including one of the biggest future stars in world football with official stats. Let's get into it, guys. If you're excited for it today, drop a thumbs up on the video, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now, let's start things off by looking back at yesterday's content on Wednesday, which, guys, was kind of a painfully slow day. A day to catch up on things, right? Getting some swaps games in, getting your rivals points before rewards today. It looks like today on Thursday might be another one of those days as well. But we did have an objective yesterday for the Adidas UCL 25th anniversary kit. Play 5 games for a 1,000 coin boost, and of course that kit, so that's very easy to get done right there. But that was basically it in objectives. There was not even an evolution that was released yesterday as well. A little bit surprising, but like we said, the content kind of been slowing down in the last couple of days. We did have a couple of SBCs though, and I do want to quickly cover the 2 new SBCs that we had. The first of which was a very good budget midfielder, Tanikawa, women's Bayern Munich team with incisive pass plus, tiki base, pinged pass base. You got chip shot, low driven, press proven, technical, and the relentless playstyles. 5-star weak foot, can play cam and CM, and very cheap. Good rolls as well, have to mention that. An 84 with an inform and an 85 rated squad. I mean, this SBC is only 27% upvoted, 73% downvoted, but it's 40,000 coins. And to be completely honest, if you were wanting to play a midfielder in that Future Stars, Young Stars Cup or whatever it is, kind of the Young Performers Cup, I forget the name of it right now, but it's only under 24 age players, this would be a great card for that squad because you get the bonus objectives in that cup, right? That's the one that I'm thinking about. Anyways, I think this is a solid SBC for the price, and just because it's so cheap, I think it's worth considering. Kind of reminds me of the other Japanese women's midfielder from City. We had Hasegawa, and she was cracked. People were using her for a couple of weeks. Well, maybe now you can run Hasegawa and Tanikawa on your team, so not a bad card there. Not the most like incredible player name, at least, or crazy card that we know of, but actually it looks like a pretty fun one. Now, the other SBC we had yesterday is not super fun. It's the 103 87 plus campaign mixed player pick, but the problem here is, and it's not really a problem until you see the cost, EA added heroes into this. There were no heroes or icons included in the previous campaign mixed player picks, and yesterday they added in heroes, which wouldn't be a bad thing, except they asked for another 85 rated squad as a part of the requirement. So instead of just one 85 squad and an inform and an 86 squad, so 2 in total, it's 3. They added that extra squad requirement in here, and the upvote downvote here on Footbin is showing how we feel about it. 94% downvoted with the price of that going up. This was always just for the 2 squads, a fun little SBC to try out, but with the 3rd added in there, it's one that I definitely want to skip and I don't want to be messing with. Now, speaking of SBCs, I mean, there's a decent number of packs and objectives. We're getting rewards today from division rivals. Just make sure you keep an eye out for all the SBCs that are expiring in the next couple of days. I'm not talking about upgrade packs like the 88 to 90. I'm talking about cards like Frimpong, Kika Nazareth, Olise. Some of like the team of the year SBCs that we had are starting to end their time being released. So make sure you're just checking on a few of these. Like if you had some fodder and you're like, Nate, I don't know who to do. Well, sure, we do have some big SBCs upcoming that I want to talk to you guys about, and maybe it's worth saving your fodder for some of those, but like just kind of your last call to get started on a Butragueño, Gabriel, if you're going to collect that card, you know, some of those players like that are expiring in the next couple of days. I just finished Marcelo yesterday. He's an absolutely amazing card, but like his SBC is going away almost, I think it's about gone now. It's going to expire. So just stuff like that I want to put on your radar before it is too late. Now, last thing to cover would be yesterday's brand new team of the week, which has brought some evolution gems. Ekitike with the low driven plus. A lot of people are wanting to Evo this card. A lot of you guys have been asking me, Nate, when can I buy Ekitike to Evo him? Hold on. Do not buy this card right now because he's super rare. The informs are not getting packed very much. I mean, not very many people are opening packs right now anyway, but you guys know the drill, right? The new Team of the Weeks that release on Wednesday, they always are a lot cheaper on Friday night and then into the rest of the weekend because of Foot Champs rewards. So for Eki TK, Carolyn Nicoli, which is a 2-play style plus Team of the Week, by the way, and Casemiro. He looks really good in the Line Breaker Evo. Going to 88 rated, getting a nice pace, passing, defense, and physical boost along with Tiki and Pinged. Like that's one of the better Casemiro cards for just one Evo that you can get right now. And yeah, it's a free Evo for a card that right now is 50,000 coins. That's Casemiro. But I do believe his price would be, of course, cheaper on the weekend. So that's just kind of something to keep an eye on. Maybe you want to Evo Solanke. Maybe it's Bremer as an 87 rated card, or maybe it's Silas, right? 5-star skills down here at the bottom of the Quick Step Plus, the Bundesliga links, kind of the FIFA legend. Like, I would wait until later in the weekend before trying to invest in one of those for an evolution. Now, speaking of Team of the Weeks, it was a great time to be invested in Team of the Weeks this week. Of course, we saw the prices rising yesterday. We said, hey, maybe wait to sell those because they could go a bit higher, and they did. All Team of the Weeks right now are just under 17K. It's like 16.5 insta sell, 16.75. And to be completely honest, these Team of the Weeks could go back up a little bit more today. I sold all of mine yesterday for right around 17,000 coins. That was such a great investment from the weekend when these were 11K. I'm honestly a bit surprised on how much they've gone up, but it was the extra Team of the Week demand in the SBC section this week that made these cards move up as much as they did. But I would probably look to sell those today for sure, at least before Friday tomorrow, when Team of the Weeks almost always drop once again for that weekend league rewards supply. Now let's continue the fodder market conversation here and look at high rateds. I had to buy Salah yesterday, guys, for 95,000 coins to finish off the Marcelo SBC. And I mean, he's up even further. He's 98K right now, but it's just wild to me how this Salah was 70K on Monday and even Tuesday. And high rated fodder after weekend league rewards were given out went up so much. The 89s continue to rise. The 90s continue to rise. The 91s as well. I would say if you have any of these still, or even if you're looking to buy a couple of these to finish off an SBC, they've got to get a little bit cheaper on the weekend. So I'd be a little bit careful with that. Wouldn't invest in those right now. It's been a very nice rise on those. But again, like we said, some of your SBCs that are requiring these are starting to fall off, and some of them are going to be expiring, and that should mean that these do dip back down with the supply this weekend. Now, same thing for this part of the fodder market. Today with Division Rivals rewards, you might see 85s and 86s drop a little bit, 87s as well, and there's still going to be people doing SBCs today because, you know, we get tradable and untradeable packs every single week with Rivals rewards. And if this timer is right, the 88 plus Encore Icon Upgrade pack does refresh today. So, hey, if I get some good Rivals rewards today, I might start chipping away at the Icon pack I said I was going to do this week, finally, after getting some player SBCs done. But that actually could make fodder rise maybe. So maybe a slight dip at the rewards today and then a rise. If you wanted to get on some bids, I would say this could be a place where you could invest today. 85s, 86s, 87s. I think 87s, particularly because of the Encore Icon pack, would be the place to go. These have really shot up in the past week with that pack being out. But you got to see a sizable drop, and you got to get some big deals today on bids if that's what you're trying to do with your coins. Now, speaking of the market, we got to talk about the Future Stars cards as well, because they seem to be just going one way, and that is up. These player prices are just rising, man. Like Fabregas was 1.1 mil a couple days ago. He's now almost 1.3 mil, 1.29 right there. Due was 1.5. Now he's 1.8. The icons are zooming in price as well. These cards seem to be going one direction, and that is up. And I don't see really why that would change unless they're over invested in, which I don't necessarily think they are. I think it's pretty true demand for these cards, and I also think they're pretty rare. I don't see these cards dropping a whole lot today with Division Rivals rewards, but the best investment with these cards is probably still the fodder discard ones. And since they could get packed a few times today tradable, check on a card like Luani. Check on a card like Clinton, right? Buy one. If you have over 100, 150,000 coins, buying one or two of these players and stocking them in your club is a good long-term investment because there's so many of these that are 87 and 88 rated that could fit into evolutions, or if we do have some future stars requirements in SBCs, you could see these guys go up to, like Lamans at 17,000 coins. I know this card is up. If I look at his graph, he was as low as 15K on Sunday. He's been 15K for the last couple of days, and now he started to rise up to 16 to 17. If you can get him for 16K, that's probably a good card to have in your club because it's a Manchester United goalkeeper. It's a Lamans, and I think that card could rise. But then for the rest of the cards for Evos, I have to shout out this Vitor Reis. 12,000 coins for him is a cop, okay? Like this card with the Intercept Plus, with the very good stats, being Brazilian in La Liga, is one solid center back Evo away and a couple of play styles, namely either a quick step, bruiser, or a block away from being a really solid card and a card that gets hyped up a bit. So that's another one that I would recommend buying one, putting in the club or on the transfer list for more of the fodder future stars players. But it would just be those that I feel the most comfortable in, as most of everything is still up a lot. The market in general is still pretty safe as well. It's still a good time to be holding on to cards, still a good time to be trading, because at the moment we don't have any sort of inkling of panic. There's not any worry that there'd be a market crash anytime soon. We're kind of in this post team of the year, lots of coins, stuff is settling down a bit. Content is okay, but it's not crazy, especially Evos are not crazy. But I do think we probably need to be more careful after this weekend. This is maybe like a long outlook for the market, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was potentially some prices dropping on the market when it comes to, team of the year cards, maybe a little bit. And then even some of like team of the year honorable mentions, just the market in general, I think could start to slide in the next couple of weeks, like 2 weeks from now or so. Usually in mid to late February, we do have a bit of a market drop every year because we're getting close to Foot Birthday. And Foot Birthday starts early this year, March 6th, right? We had that objective that we had to complete. So we know the start of the Foot Birthday date. I do think that, a week ahead of that, depending on what content comes out, maybe 2 weeks ahead of that, you could start to see a bit of a drop, because that's just kind of the general forecast of a normal market during the year. Into the spring promos like that, we do see some drops. So depending on what other promos come out, that's a long shot, kind of outlook there, but just be a little careful with some of the cards that you may have regarding prices on the market and tradable players. Now, let's talk about what else is happening on this game right now. The biggest conversation on FC26 right now is finesse shots, and the latest patch in this game that EA has just confirmed did actually mess up those finesse shots, right? We had a lot of tweets in the community yesterday. A lot of people were talking after we mentioned it in the video, and people were starting to mention it then yesterday as well. But there was, the conversation of, are finesses actually messed up? Because it wasn't something super consistent that you could point your finger to and say, yeah, when I shoot a finesse right here, or when I shoot this sort of finesse, it doesn't work very well. But you could just tell by playing the game that something was off. And a lot of people started calling it a finesse nerf. People were like, EA shadow patched the game, they just nerfed finesse. Well, that's not a really great way to describe it, because it doesn't even feel true, because it's not consistent. If every finesse shot was bad and underpowered, then maybe you could call it a nerf, but there's still plenty of times where finesse shots feel like normal. Even Team Hullet was tweeting yesterday, make sure you load up those finesse shots with enough power. And sure, maybe they're saying this because after this sort of glitch or bug with the finesses, it does feel like your shots are underpowered. So to try to counteract that, you're supposed to use more power. But then again, you'll do another regular finesse shot like normal, and you'll give it extra power because you think it's going to be underpowered with this bug. But then they'll be flying over the crossbar because you'll be putting too much power on it, and it'll be no bug on that finesse shot. So there is definitely something up with finesse shots. We play this game a lot. We know, we can feel when something is off. And then EA, with the Bombazo tweet just a couple of hours ago, have confirmed that. I thought they weren't going to say anything, guys, and we'd be stuck with this finesse shot glitch or some sort of inconsistency for a while. This is actually good comms, I think. My first reaction, I tweeted the response here. I was like, you know what? W communication, because we have not been hearing too much from EA over the past, month and a half, basically since the end of December. Only a few things here or there, and a lot more recently in the past couple of days. And again, there was a part of me that wasn't expecting EA to respond to this for super long. So the fact that they have already created a little Trello board thingy here and confirmed that it was not intentional, by the way, and then they're going to provide an update on their investigation in the coming days. I mean, it is nice to see that. Now, of course, the next question is going to be, when can we actually score finesse shots like normal again and not have to worry about our, Sophia Wilson's, Claudia Pina's, Messi, if you did the SBC, like whatever card with finesse plus that you have, when are we not going to have to worry that there's going to be, these underpowered finesse shots that are kind of super annoying? And maybe when do we not intentionally have to think about using other ways of scoring like low drivens and regular power shots instead of using finesses, because that's what we're used to, while this bug is still active? We don't know, right? Hopefully it's a quick fix. They said coming days. You never know what that means with EA. They're investigating at least, and that's kind of all that we can ask at this moment. So hopefully that does come soon. Now, I was wondering to see if this would crash prices at all, and it shouldn't, because finesses like still are good. Like finesses still work. There's just the odd time where they don't. And actually, some people kind of found a pinpoint to where the finesses are more glitched than others. It's if you're cutting in on an angle and you're attempting a finesse kind of on like the angle. Like it can be inside the box, it can be outside the box, and it's really weird to try to replicate it over and over and over. But I saw a couple people of saying if you're cutting in again on an angle, which is kind of what you're doing a lot of time for finesse shots. So again, it's kind of hard to really pinpoint that specific spot of where the glitch is happening, but hopefully EA are able to find it soon, and hopefully this glitch does not last very long. I would personally say just keep shooting finesse shots as normal, because still like 75% of the time, that's the percentage that I'll use again, they go in like normal, and 25% of the time you're just sat there like frustrated because, your finesse shot was a dud. But at least they still do work 75% of the time, and hopefully it gets fixed soon so that they will go back to 100%. Now, along with this, we've had a lot of conversation recently about playstyles, and that whole poll that EA put out in the Discord about playstyles versus attributes is expiring today, which means there might be more talk about the next patch or the next part of the patch that EA could be releasing if they address the poll results, because I'm sure they'll at least put out a poll tweet and say like 90% of the community said that playstyles were way more overpowered than attributes, which everybody knows playstyles are much more popular. They matter more in this game than the actual stats on the card do. And again, I'm highlighting this whole situation because I believe there's going to be a patch, and it's going to be a big patch that ends up impacting the game because of this. Again, we look back to the goalkeeper patch that we had. I know this is different than that with the goalkeeper movement, but there was a pretty big change after they did the last poll. And I just think that maybe the combination of, this plus the finesse thing could be working its way into an update very soon. We'll see how long it takes EA to put together our next kind of big update in terms of gameplay, fixing some of the playstyle stuff here, balancing that out as we think we would like, and then of course fixing the finesse glitch. So that's a lot more gameplay talk than normal on a TFA YouTube video, but I had to mention that because, and I'd love to hear your comments down below about how you feel the finesse thing is impacting you. Is it annoying? Does it make you not want to play the game because of the frustration of that? Or is it just kind of like, well, why are my finesse shots being inconsistent? And you're kind of just battling through it, kind of like we all are, to be completely honest. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. But let's move into talking about Future Stars Team 2. EA dropped a little splash screen in game. Of course, we know who all these players are already because of the leaks, but it's not the players in packs that I want to focus on today. It's the SBCs, because there is one of the biggest future stars in world football that has been leaked as an SBC card. And yeah, some of you guys may have already evolved him. That's the bad part about this. It is Mayulu. This was a leak that just came up yesterday, and now we have the official card hot off the press. Mayulu SBC official card. Evo owners are cooked. Incisive and technical plus, 92 dribbling, 90 passing, 88 pace and shooting. That's a really solid looking card. And again, 2 playstyle pluses. We're definitely moving up in the power curve. 2 playstyle pluses is becoming very common, and 2 playstyle plus cards are, pretty cheap as well. If you take a look at some of the 2 playstyle plus players like Wharton and Team 1 of Future Stars, they're becoming more common, which I think is a good thing. It's moving the power curve a bit. We just need Evos to catch up, right? We need Evos to catch up in that regard because there's not as many 2 playstyle pluses there. Anyways, I digress. More 2 playstyle plus players coming on SBCs, depending on the price here, which if I had to guess, I can't see this SBC being cheaper than like 350 to 400K. And since it's PSG and French, it could be like 500 to 550. That's just a guess. But since he's a big name in world football, playing for PSG, very popular youngster once again, I just can't imagine this is going to be that cheap, but I do think it will be a very hype card. So I'm very, very interested to see what this comes in at in terms of a price. And my guess would be Friday. Like a card like this, probably a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday type of SBC player. And again, I know it's frustrating for those who maybe have already done the Inform Mayulu in some sort of chain for the Future Stars Academy Evo, but you might find some solace in the fact that I think this card's going to end up being better than the SBC, and of course, cheaper, right? You got 86 defending and 89 physical here on this card. He's only got 80 and 82 on the SBC with the tech and the incisive. You know, this one here's got Tiki and Ping. You might have a different playstyle plus combination on yours if you evoed him, but that is a very solid card, and it's all going to depend on the price. Now, this leak, I'm scared of this leak. Doumbia is getting an SBC, and this is his official card. Of course, we saw the leak for Doumbia a couple of days ago, but now we know his official card. He is going to be one of the fastest, if not the fastest player in the game, and here's why. He's gone from Quick Step Plus on his base card, which in my opinion, rapid, clear of Quick Step. He's gone from the Quick Step to the rapid, has the low driven, has 96 pace. This is FIFA 15 all over again, man. This is like Doumbia in his prime. I know we had the Streets Won't Forget FIFA 15 thing last year. That was right around this time, I believe, in like February, March timeframe last year in FC 25 when EA dropped Gervinho, Ibarbo, and Doumbia onto the game. But that card, that's a solid upgrade. And if this is anywhere near 250, 350,000 coins for an SBC price, that's going to be a card you might find everywhere because 96 pace, you don't see every day. Rapid plus and low driven, and probably going to have finesse base because his card here is a base version does and has first touch base as well. That's going to be a crazy card. So could be overpriced because of the pace. We'll have to see, but even the shooting and the dribbling boost is much needed for his card here. I mean, going from 84 to 89 shooting, he's going to have over 90 attack positioning and finishing. Going from 83 dribbling up to 88, he's going to have probably close to 90s in agility and balance. His reaction is going to get boosted up. Composure is going to get boosted up there. I mean, even his strength needs a bit of a boost, going from 74 physical up to 79. Probably won't be that high, but his stamina will be very good as it already is. I just think that card's going to be scary, and I think that might be a crazy card. Maybe not as good as like, you know, a Claudia Pino or a Sophia Wilson, but like just a fun card you're going to be able to blitz right by people with the rapid plus playstyle plus. That's going to be something there. So hopefully that one's not too expensive. I would be down for it. Couple more SBCs that are leaked. We do have a Esposito card from Inter that has been leaked. He's got low driven, 90 shooting, and 88 pace. That could be an objective card as well. And then along with the Mayulu, when that was first leaked yesterday, we also have a leak for Yeremy Pino, the Crystal Palace right mid Spanish player. Actually, you might think his name sounds familiar in terms of FIFA content or FC 26 content because he had an SBC earlier this year during the UEFA Primetime promo. He actually got a +2 overall and got 2 playstyles added to his card. But this was a card that a lot of people, I think, did earlier on in the game because he has really good playstyles, really good stats, 93 pace, 88 pass and dribble. Like, add a couple of stat boosts to this card and you're looking at a promo card who could actually be very, very good. So I'm curious to see the official stats on this Pino. Of course, those are not official stats there for Mayulu or Pino. We already saw the Mayulu officials. So that's a card there that has potential, and we'll just have to see when it is going to be dropped. And don't forget, we still have the Cafu, the Winter Wildcards Cafu SBC that has been leaked. We just do not know when it's going to be, but I wouldn't imagine that it would be today on Thursday. Guys, Thursdays are always pretty quiet, and that's, speaking of leaks, kind of the one thing that I would expect to see today, especially related to Evos. I've kind of already mentioned it, but the biggest thing that I'm curious about for Future Stars Team 2 is how are Evos going to level up? We're getting 2 Playstyle Plus cards everywhere in packs right now. Some of the SBCs are starting to give us 2 Playstyle Plus players, not all of them, but more of them. It's time for Evos to step it up as well. One really quick mention here, we do have the official Team 2 cards, some of them leaked for Future Stars Team 2. Couple of cards I want to highlight. We've already seen Leonard Carl. We've seen the Hazard. We looked at those in yesterday's video. I want to highlight Krupi here from the Prem. Bournemouth striker Krupi with finesse and tech, 92 pace and 90 dribble with 88 shooting. That's a solid card. Wilson Odobert for Spurs. Love that he only has one playstyle plus. I actually love that because you might be able to customize if you pack him, which I hopefully will. That second playstyle plus, he's got 90 dribbling, 94 pace, and the quick step plus. So that's a good one. Also pretty excited for Pepe and McGlynn for USA Evos. And then, of course, you got Leonard Carl, Fermin, Dean Huijsen. Some good cards in there. I do not believe those are all of the cards coming in Team 2. Again, Team 1 was huge. A lot of players in it. There's probably some more leaks to watch out for with Team 2 coming out today. But that's one of the things I think would be a part of content today is more leaks, especially for Evos. Not for an Evo today, but maybe for tomorrow and Friday. And then other than that, today's going to be another slow day, guys. Let's just be 100% honest. It's going to be a day to get ahead, work on, and don't forget to finish maybe a Paxton Aronson objective for like myself there. I got to finish that one. The Hayden Hackney for SP. Since it is a Thursday, we should be getting more SP. And I'm wondering if like the, weekly and the stuff in here that seemed very low in terms of the SP amounts they were giving us for like the weekly play completionist, the weekly play here. I'm going to wonder if those go up a little bit today in terms of the SP, maybe even like the manager objectives. Those were only 100, 100, and 300 for this week. It didn't even get those done. Very slow start to the season. So I hope we get some more SP today and some larger increments in that, but I'm not super set on that. I wouldn't be super expecting that. One thing I would always expect, as every Thursday we do, is marquee matchups. So watch out for that, and maybe like one small player SBC, kind of like the Tanakawa that we had yesterday. And that would probably be it, guys. Again, a day to work on your icon swap tokens. Like that's what I'm doing right now. Got my Rivals games, and this is the first time, as I've mentioned on stream, and I forget if I mentioned it earlier in the video or not, but this is the first time that I got 24 out of 24 points in Rivals in like 3 weeks. 24 is now the max, and that's way more motivating for me than 30. I started playing Rivals early this week, so I was able to get a head start, and maybe that's one little piece of information that can help you out today as well. Get started on those Rivals early, because it can actually really help your rest of the week. But there's just so much gameplay right now. There is so much gameplay with the live events, but the gauntlet that is still out. Make sure you do the gauntlet. That's like a given. Got to get that one done 100% because of the rewards that are there. And then, of course, you're adding a new week of champs this weekend and maybe new Rivals points to get ahead on as well. But that's going to be the video for me today on a Thursday, guys. If you did enjoy, drop a thumbs up on it. Comment down below if you have any questions. And, of course, subscribe if you are new. I got one lot of shelling that I'm still flipping right now because Sir SBC went away. So this card's been kind of moving up and down in price. We've been making some profits on it. We're going to sell that one today, hopefully after Rivals rewards. And I will catch you guys in the stream, man. Have a great Thursday. Appreciate you guys watching the videos as always. And I will see you later today here on YouTube and on Twitch as well for a stream. Have a great Thursday. It's been TheFutAccountant. See you later. Peace.